Well, hey gang, welcome back to the channel. I am Brian, and today we're going to be taking a look at this ALLPOWERS R1500 lithium iron phosphate power station. So I would kind of consider this a medium-sized power station, not really small, not the huge 2,000 watt power station, but kind of right in the middle. So this has got an 1,800 watt pure sine inverter with a surge rating of up to around 3,000 watts that you'll get for milliseconds, but continuously running 1,800 watts. It's got 1,152 watt hours worth of LIFEPO4 cells in here, rated at your standard 3,500 charge-discharge cycles until you get to about 80% of your battery. Now, I've had a few ALLPOWERS things here in the past. All of their power stations have done really well, and I've got quite a few of their solar panels that have all done really well too. So ALLPOWERS is starting to put out some pretty decent little power stations and solar panels and things in that genre. So I'm just gonna take you folks with me along on this test and show you kind of how I test these power stations to make sure that you're gonna get the specs that they say are on this power station. So let's get started by turning this unit on first. Press and hold. Okay, so it came shipped at 76%. It does have a pretty nice LCD screen display. You're going to have your input watts, your output watts, your runtime to empty, and I'm sure once you start cutting on your AC inverter, your DC circuit, you're going to get a few more icons that are going to be pertinent to whatever your device you're going to be using. But let's get those cut off, and let's go ahead and get this thing topped off so we can do a capacity test. But I do know on this the charging is pretty decent. It's got an adjustable charge rate, which I like. I don't like having a fast charge only. It's great in some situations, but if you don't want to really cook these batteries, don't charge them at the max rate. So right here is the AC charging cord. That's it. There is no charging brick that is built inside of this power station. So that's good. You don't have to lug around a big old power brick like some of these Blue Eddies you have to, which kind of annoys me. But let's get this thing charged up, download the app, because on the app is where you can adjust the charging speed. I did take a look at the manual, and there is no way to adjust charging speed on the actual power station itself. So unfortunately, you do have to download the ALLPOWERS app. All right, so to connect the app to the power station, to turn on the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth on this device, you have to press and hold the DC button for 3 seconds. Once you do that, you'll hear a beep, and then your Bluetooth and your Wi-Fi icon will show up on that screen, and you can connect to this power station via the ALLPOWERS app, which you can see here on the screen. So if we click on that R1500, it kind of just gives you all the basic information. My battery's at 91%. I am inputting right now 396 400-ish watts. But if we go back into this little top right icon up here, this is where you can adjust under work mode. I don't know why they call it that, but you've got mute mode, standard mode, and fast mode. Right now I'm in fast mode, but this thing has a technology to where once your battery capacity gets up almost to 100%, it's just going to charge around 400 watts anyway. So it doesn't really make a big difference on what mode you pick. Unless you're below 50% or so, that's when you're going to get the fast charge at up to 1,500 watts. But again, with this battery being at 91% full, we're just going to be inputting around 400 watts. And I'm okay with that because that just kind of saves the battery from cooking itself over long periods of fast charging. So this is the app. You can turn on and off the AC inverter, turn on and off the DC functions. You can also go back up here into the top right and turn on eco mode, which basically is going to shut down this unit if you go to the eco mode shutdown times. So you can pick 1, 2, 4, or 6 hours, and that's going to shut this unit down if it doesn't detect any power output out of those specified time periods. I turn eco mode off because I just don't like my power station to cut off without me telling it to cut off, but it's kind of a safeguard to put in place if you want to make sure that this thing doesn't run overnight for no reason. But that's basically it for the app, gang. We're gonna get this thing topped up to 100%, and we're gonna come back and do a capacity discharge test on the inverter and the DC side of things. Well, we are now at 100% fully charged battery, so let's get that DC capacity test done. But one thing that I did not mention in the beginning of this is the price of this unit. So typically this thing goes for $899, which for an 1100-ish watt hour power station is really not that bad. And I'm assuming because of Black Friday and the end of November type sales, right now this is going for $499, which is absolutely insane, but we're at 100%. So I'm gonna unplug the AC charger behind me. We're gonna plug up the DC capacity tester. We're gonna get it zeroed out. Let's get this thing plugged in to the 12-volt socket. And this is a 10 amp output, so we're going to run it around 10 amps. Just a little bit under so we don't trip anything during the test. Okay, we're at 9.76 amps. So let's let this thing run until that battery is depleted, and I'll come back and see how close this is to the rated capacity. Okay, well, we are beeping. It looks like we are below voltage, so this thing should be done. Let's get this thing unplugged and see what we're able to get out of this battery. So let's see what we were able to get. Oh, 609 watt hours. That is not very good. This is an 1152 watt hour battery, but let's try an AC discharge test just to see if there's something going on with this DC circuit on this power station. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's not very good. Now that this battery is completely at 0%, we will be able to get the full 1500 watts worth of charging. All right, so once the battery got up to around 13%, we started getting the full 1500 watts worth of charge. Now I'm gonna quit talking and show you my decibel meter and show you how loud this is at full charge. All right, we are back to 100% on the battery capacity. So now let's try to do an AC discharge test. So let me get this thing plugged in and zeroed out. We are zeroed out. I'm going to plug in about a 350 watt light array. And we'll come back and test and see how many watt hours we're able to pull out of the inverter. AC discharge test is completed. Battery is fully dead. Let me get this unplugged and plug it into home power, and let's see what we got. That's a little bit better. 955 watt hours, again, out of the rated 1152. So much better discharge test off of the AC inverter than we did the DC test. So I think I'm going to do the DC test again and just confirm my numbers that we were only able to get around 600 watt hours. So there you go. Okay, so I did redo the DC capacity test, and as you can see here, I was able to get 916 watt hours out of this battery the second time around. I guess the first time I was having a little bit of issues with my capacity tester. It was kind of beeping at me weird. Never seen issues like that, but happy to report back to you that that first test was kind of bogus, and 916 watt hours off of the second DC capacity test. So we're above 80% efficient on both the AC and DC. So that's not fantastic, but it's not bad, especially for right now, 499 bucks off this thing. So I think I'll take that. But now my battery is only at 36% or 34% right now. So we're gonna go ahead and test out some solar panels on this to show you how all that works. Now, this power station comes supplied with an XT60 to MC4 cable connections, which is really easy. You just plug it into the side. And then I mentioned that I have quite a few all-power solar panels. So for this test, we're just gonna use this 200 watt solar panel. This power station can accept 13 amps or 650 watts worth of solar. So this solar panel is not really going to even touch the max that this power station can handle. This has got a 50.6 of open circuit voltage rating, and it's around 5 amps, I believe. So 5 amps maximum power current off of this 200 watt panel. But to get these things hooked up, if you've never seen it work, most solar panels come with some type of cord, and this solar panel has a MC4 connector already installed in it. You don't have to do anything, just pull it out, and then the power station again comes with this cord, and all we're gonna do is turn it around to the side. We're gonna plug in the XT60 port. All we gotta do is connect the MC4 connectors coming out of the power station into the solar panel. Okay, now I got a pretty sunny day. It's late November here in Texas. The sun is really far down, so not expecting to get a whole lot out of this 200 watt panel, but just kind of want to show you folks how it works, so let's take this outside. Okay, as you can tell here, it's really early in the morning. I got a very long shadow, but I got the solar panel out here. That sun is just barely over those houses, so let's go check and see what kind of input we're getting off of that 200 watt panel. And that's not too bad, gang. 81 watts for the conditions that I'm at right now really is not very bad at all. I expect to get a little bit more when that sun comes up, so we'll come back out here and check in about an hour. But 80 watts at 8 a.m. in almost December is not too bad. Wow, guys, we are now getting 164 watts off of that solar panel. So that's really impressive for a 200 watt panel. Yeah, that kind of blows my mind, especially given the current circumstances that we're in. So I got the panel sitting out here. And that sun is right up there. Wow, yeah, that's really impressive in my opinion. Almost 170 watts now. All right, so again, guys, I really am impressed with this 200 watt panel from ALLPOWERS. 170 watts in late November at 9:30 a.m. in the morning is absolutely fantastic for a solar panel like that. So kudos to ALLPOWERS. They make really good solar panels. I've had quite a few. So we tested out the solar charging. It works fine. I showed you the AC charging rate and the app and how you can change that up. Okay, so now let's go over all the ports that you're gonna get. I'm kind of doing this review a little bit backwards, but on the front, you're gonna have 2 USB-A 18 watt ports. You're gonna have 2 USB-C 100 watt output ports. You've got 4 AC outputs rated at up to 1800 watts. And then you have your 10 amp 12 volt cigarette style charging socket. And then up top, you're going to get 2 15 watt wireless charging pads if your devices support wireless charging. And then moving around to the side, this unit is expandable, and there are 2 expansion ports to use if you opt in to go purchase the extra expansion batteries from ALLPOWERS. And then on the side, under this lid, you've got your AC charging input, you've got your circuit breaker reset button, and then you've got your XT60 port for solar charging. So now let's test out the inverter to make sure that we can get around 1800 watts worth of output off of this unit. So I'm not going to play nice with this inverter. I'm going to kick on my 1200 watt heat gun at full blast. I'm not going to ramp it up slowly because I want to see how this inverter can handle a pretty large rush of power going into it. So let's give this a shot. And immediately jumps up to almost 1200 watts. We need some more juice. 500 watt space heater. Okay, that almost gets us to 1500 watts. 300 watts worth of light bulbs. $1,850 watts, so we're over the rated power. Let's see how long it'll keep it going. 1,866 watts. 1,870, we're still going. We're climbing up close to 1,900 watts now. Let's see what our voltage is looking like. We're at 109 volts. Again, running 1,904 watts. 104 watts over the rated power. But check out that sine wave. Pretty good sine wave for 100 watts over its max power. And we're still running. We're still climbing up. 1,900 and almost 20 watts now. So I'm just going to let this run. Oh, there we go. We did cut off. So I got a good, probably minute and a half, 2 minutes worth of exceeding the 1,800 watts off of this power station. So I'd say you got a pretty good, pretty powerful inverter built into this thing. The USB-C 100 watt output is working just fine. So I've got this connected to my Energizer power station. You can see right here, we are actually inputting exactly, well, 99 watts coming out of that ALLPOWERS. So we'll test out the second USB port to make sure. And the second USB port is inputting 99 watts. And this power station also features a UPS mode. Now, it's not rated to protect sensitive electronics and computers. It's not that fast, but things like a refrigerator, fish aquarium, things of that nature, this will be perfect for. But in order to show you the UPS feature, I'm going to go ahead and plug in this light array. So I do have the power station plugged into the wall right now, and I'm going to unplug it, and when I do that, it's going to divert the power coming out of my wall powering these lights to the battery inside powering the lights. And you'll be able to see these lights flicker just a little bit. 3, 2, 1. Just a very split second, 20 milliseconds or so is the turnover time. But again, not quite quick enough to protect sensitive electronics, but things like I said earlier, this will do just fine and probably suit your needs. Well, there you have it, gang. This is the ALLPOWERS R1500. I'm pretty impressed with it. It did really well for the regular price of this thing at $8.99. I think that's probably a little too steep. It does have a few good features on it though, with the wireless charging, the Bluetooth Wi-Fi connectivity. You know, it's a good power station. For $4.99, this thing is an absolute steal, and that probably won't last long. I can't guarantee. And that probably won't last long, probably, you know, till November 27th or 30th or so, and then you'll probably see the price go up. But for everything that you get, all the cabling's good. The inverter is very strong, it worked well. The efficiency on the DC and AC off the batteries were a little weak, around 80 to 82% efficient, so I would like to see it a little bit higher. But again, for 499 bucks, you can't go wrong if you can snag this unit at that price point. Everything else about it seems really well made, and it's a pretty good little power station. So kudos to ALLPOWERS for this. And that solar panel, man, that thing did great. I'm gonna definitely keep that thing around because it's very lightweight. And to get what I got in terms of output off of that thing today, yeah, I'm definitely going to be keeping that one around. But anyway, folks, this is the review on the ALLPOWERS R1500. So if you have any questions, leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, we will see you soon. Take care and have a happy Thanksgiving.